National Public Radio did a story on the Milwaukee voucher program. Quote, over the years, much of the research found test scores flat, lower in some cases, or slightly improved in others. Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, quote, on average, students in Milwaukee's private school voucher program still performed lower than students in the city's traditional public school system. Again, Milwaukee Journal, another article, Right Step Inc., I don't know if you're familiar with that school, a taxpayer-funded voucher school in Milwaukee. They're being sued by parents right now. Their reports indicate that only 7% of their students tested at English language proficiency and 0% in math. So this is our public dollars going to these schools. I just would ask you, would you send your kids to a school where they have 93% of the students aren't English proficient and 0% are math proficient?
Would I? Congressman, thank you for the question. And I'm really glad to hear you're from Wisconsin and you've had some of the experiences in Wisconsin. I was just recalling the history of the program in Wisconsin.
Since I only have 5 minutes, I
know,
appreciate
but,
that,
I want to remind you that
you.
Polly Williams, a Democrat city councilwoman, was the one who first introduced the Milwaukee program.
And who now says it's not lived up to its promise.
no longer living.
Right, but before she passed away, said it does not live up to its promise. You're familiar with that, right?
And now 28,000 students
She said it didn't live up to the promise of what the creation was. But the question is, would you send your children to a school with 93%
today,
not
28,000 students in the city of Milwaukee.
So I guess you're not going to answer that question either. So let me, if I can then, Madam Chair, if I can take my time back, if you're not going to answer the question, let me ask a different question that you might be willing to answer. So the last expansion in Wisconsin of this program, 75% of the kids, the parents who got this money, their kids already attended the school. And 2/3 of the money that went in the tax vouchers to the folks who received this were making more than $100,000. So largely, this is tax policy. This isn't education policy. This is making sure people who are already attending these schools. Do you think that your federal program will support this sort of thing? So it's not to encourage new outlets in education. It's simply to give money to people who already attend those schools?
Well, I really applaud Milwaukee for empowering parents to make the decisions that they think are right for their students and their children. And I go back to what I said earlier about the fact that I think we need to shift our conversation.
Will the federal program, I'm sorry if I wasn't clear, is under what you're doing, there's 20 programs zeroed out from arts to foreign language, mental health, Special Olympics that are zeroed out under the budget proposal, but you've got new dollars for this failed experiment that I can tell you after 14 years in the legislature, we've had these dismal results. My question is, will the path of this new dollars you're putting in for the federal government go down the failed path in Wisconsin? It's going to people who already attend the schools. So there's nothing new about education. This is tax policy. It should be for the Ways and Means Committee. Is that the intention of the new program expansion that you have?
I know the 28,000 students that are attending schools by the choice of their parents in Milwaukee. That is a success for those students because their parents have decided. So are you going to hold any
accountability?
Their parents have decided that's the right place for their children.
Madam Secretary, seriously, you're not answering the question, so let me try one more. I've got 40 seconds. Maybe my trifecta.
Please give her an opportunity to answer the question.
Well, but she's answering a different question that I'm asking, and I guess at some point I have 5 minutes. Sure. So will you have any accountability standards for these schools? So when we first started the program in Wisconsin, money went to someone who started a school who said he could read a book by putting his hand on it, and people bought Cadillacs with the dollars they got in the voucher program. Are you going to have accountability standards in the programs that you're offering new dollars to at the federal level?
Wisconsin and all of the states in the country are putting their ESSA plans together right now. And they are going to decide what kind of flexibility they're going to allow. They have more freedom than ever because of the ESSA legislation to be creative and innovative. And our conversation needs to shift from talking about schools and buildings and institutions to what is right for individual students.
So I tried. I gave you 20 seconds. Will you have accountability standards was the question.
There are accountability standards. The states are required to have accountability standards.
Are you going to with the federal dollars was the question.
That is part of the ESSA legislation.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've got a second round. Thank you.
Absolutely.